A few moments ago, I overheard something that Doug Moo said to my boss, Mark Schoenwald. Sorry about that. Mark, you see how much influence you have over me? Doug said to Mark, he said, one of the things I like about coming to ETS is I get to see students who've gone on for doctorates and are now teaching, and people that I've been able to teach and have an influence on, and it's just good to catch up with them. Well, I'd like to invite Matthew Harmon and Jay Smith to the platform to reflect on Doug Moo, teacher, scholar, friend, mentor.
God calls us to show honor to whom honor is due, and that is what Jay and I are here to do tonight for Doug Moo. Over the course of his academic career in ministering the church, Doug Moo has proved himself to be a faithful servant of Christ and a steward of God's mysteries. During his years at Trinity Evangelical Divinity School and Wheaton College, Doug has prepared countless men and women for gospel ministry. Both of us have had the privilege of doing our doctoral work under Doug's supervision, Jay while at Trinity, and me while at Wheaton. He proved to be a terrific mentor, and he always blended high expectations and critical analysis with timely encouragement. And at this point, I would like to invite Doug and his wife Jenny and his daughter Christy, as well as his sons Jonathan and Luke, to the platform to join us, please. Doug is well known for his numerous biblical commentaries that are models of careful exegesis, thoughtful theological analysis, and wise pastoral application. The clarity of his prose is matched by his commitment to represent the views of others in terms they themselves would recognize. Doug's most significant contributions as a scholar center on two primary areas: Pauline studies and Bible translation. He has actively engaged the complex issues surrounding the new perspective on Paul, as well as the relationship between the Mosaic Law and the Gospel. And of course, we are here tonight to honor Doug's role as the chair of the Committee on Bible Translation. In this capacity, he has overseen the production of the most recent revision of the New International Version, released in 2011. In this role, Doug has proved an able advocate of the NIV, carefully explaining the rationale for various decisions of the CBT and graciously responding to critics. So, for the past 4 years, Doug, Jay and I have been secretly working behind your back to produce a festschrift as a small token of our love and appreciation for you and your faithfulness as a servant of Christ and a steward of God's mysteries. We've managed to assemble a team of Pauline scholars, former students, colleagues, to write on various subjects on issues involving Paul and even some translation issues. And so I want to honor the contributors by recognizing and reading their names: G.K. Beale, Craig Blomberg, Ardell Canaday, D.A. Carson, James Dunn, Jonathan Moo, Dane Ortlin, Grant Osborne, Thomas Schreiner, Mark Zyfrid, Verlin Verbrugge, Chris Vlachos, Stephen Westerholm, N.T. Wright, and Robert Yarborough. So it's our opportunity now for Jay to say some things.
Although this project was done in Doug's honor, it would be remiss if we did not say thanks to a number of other people. Yet there are so many to thank, I trust that you will forgive us if we mention just three. First to Verlin Verbrugge, senior editor at Zondervan. Verlin, a very special thanks to you for helping us, and especially me. Your editorial skills, efficiency, and good judgment saved us again and again, and were a constant source of encouragement. We cannot thank you enough. Perhaps I should merely say this. Stan, I think Verlin is deserving of a nice hefty raise. And of course to Jenny, Doug's wife, thank you for helping and guiding this collection in innumerable ways. To know you is to have a genuine and admiration and affection for you. And those of you in the room who know Jenny will understand exactly what I mean. Doug, your decision to ask Jenny Larson out on a date some 40 years ago was one of the best calls you ever made. In the words of the Southern preacher, son, you outmarried yourself. And finally, to Christy Otten, Doug's youngest daughter, goes a very special thanks. She was our mole. When we wanted to correspond with Jenny over some matter, we went through Christy, just to make sure that Doug wouldn't be the wiser. At one point during the project, I told Christy that I hoped her father wasn't on to us. She replied, and I quote, verbatim and exact, "Pops has no clue." When I thought about his choice of doctoral students, I thought she might be on to something. And then I considered Doug's service to the academy, to the church, and ultimately to Christ. I realized, Christy, that Pops does have a clue. Doug, please accept this volume as a token of our appreciation and affection. Thank you for your ministry. But let me close in Pauline fashion with three admonitions. Doug, be sure to take time to let those grandkids fall asleep in your lap. By all means, test out the new line of 35mm Canon SLRs and thoroughly enjoy a little time in the Rockies. But don't let your pen lie idle just yet, and don't push back from that keyboard and desk. Continue to do what you do so well. That's open up the New Testament for us, especially Paul. And if you do that, we'll be the richer for it. Thank you, and God bless you.
This is already embarrassing enough. Please sit down. You kept the secret very well. My wife worries me that she kept it so well. I wonder what else might be going on. I am just literally overwhelmed and without adequate words to say how much this means to me. The work I know that goes into a project like this, those who have contributed, and just thanks for the joy of being able to do what God's enabled me to do to His glory for these years. Thanks all of you for being here and celebrating with us.